Hey everyone, welcome to today's Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're tuning in because, let's be real, we are tackling one of the single biggest challenges modern families are facing right now: digital parenting. I mean, how do we keep our kids safe online while at the same time respecting their very real need for digital independence? It's basically a tightrope walk. But today, we're going to break down exactly how to navigate this by looking at two absolutely crucial elements. First, the mindset we need to adapt, and second, the actual software toolset we can use to back it all up.
Okay, let's dive right into this. And I'm going to start with a slightly uncomfortable question. Are you guilty of technoference? I know, it's a heavy word, but before we even start looking at our kids' screen time, we really have to hold a mirror up to ourselves. Does your own digital distraction ever, kind of get in the way of engaging with your family? It's a tough question for sure, but it immediately highlights a core truth here. Digital habits are a whole family issue, not just a kid issue.
Look, if you're sitting there feeling totally overwhelmed by your child's device usage, just consider this number for a second: 86%. According to a recent survey, 86% of parents are currently tracking their children's location, and a massive majority are monitoring their texts, too. So, if you're actively monitoring or even just thinking about setting up some guardrails on your kids' devices, you are absolutely not alone. The desire to keep them safe is totally universal.
So, here is our roadmap for the Explainer today. We're going to look at the Digital Parenting Challenge, the Family Media Plan, and the 5 C's framework to build up our mindset. Then we'll pivot into the tools, covering top parental control apps, common monitoring mistakes, and finally, how to balance safety with digital independence.
All right, Section 1, the Digital Parenting Challenge. Because while there are obviously undeniable learning benefits to using screens, the source data shows us there are also very real risks to things like physical activity, getting enough sleep, and emotional regulation.
Section 2, the Family Media Plan. Since media use is essentially intertwined with our daily family life at this point, we need a solid, evidence-based strategy. So, back in 2016, the American Academy of Pediatrics rolled out this family media plan to help guide parents. And the cool thing is, it has evolved into this highly interactive digital tool. This isn't just some static, printable contract you stick on the fridge anymore. It's a full web-based platform, available in both English and Spanish, by the way, where you can actually set up individual profiles for each family member. Yes, adults included. And then you can select specific, age-appropriate rules that meet your own unique needs.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the actual formal definition of that word I threw at you earlier, technoference. The AAP makes a huge point to emphasize that digital guidelines have to apply to us adults as well. When we direct our attention toward our phones or tablets at the expense of verbal and emotional engagement with our children, well, we're part of the problem. It brilliantly illustrates that fixing these digital habits really is a team effort.
And the philosophy behind the AAP's plan, it has totally shifted. They actually used to recommend this blunt, one-size-fits-all limit, specifically saying, 2 hours or less of screen time daily. But the evidence eventually showed that was just way too inflexible and honestly pretty unrealistic for modern life. So they moved away from strict time limits and shifted toward adaptable family goals. Now it's all about visualizing your child's entire day. You prioritize sleep, family meals, and at least 1 hour of physical activity first. Whatever free time is left over, that becomes your media budget.
Which brings us to Section 3, the 5 C's framework. This is a newly developed mnemonic that is perfectly designed to complement that family media plan and help us easily remember how to foster healthy digital habits. Okay, let's run through these 5 C's real quick. Number 1 is child, meaning recognizing your kid's individual strengths and vulnerabilities. 2 is content, paying close attention to what they're actually playing and watching. 3 is calm, helping them develop real coping mechanisms for strong emotions instead of just, handing them a tablet to pacify them. 4 is crowding out, ensuring media doesn't crowd out essential activities like sleep and real-world connection. And 5 is communication, talking regularly about their digital experiences.
Section 4, top parental control apps. Let's move to and see how this builds on what we just discussed. We've established the psychological mindset, prioritizing that communication and balance. Now, we need the actual software toolset to enforce those boundaries.
Because every family needs different things, right? And every independently tested app here has its own distinct superpower. Aura is the absolute top pick for teens. Qustodio totally dominates when it comes to real-time location tracking. Bark is your go-to for deep social media monitoring across multiple platforms. Norton Family is just incredible for strict web content filtering, especially for the younger kids.
And Family Keeper is definitely the most user-friendly if you just want some basic mobile guardrails.
Let's zoom in on our top pick for teens, Aura, to understand a major shift in the industry right now. It's the difference between spying and mentoring. Spying is demanding a raw, line-by-line transcript of every single text your kid sends. Mentoring is what Aura's Balance feature does. It evaluates how your teen interacts online, their tone, frequency, their habits, and it builds a behavioral profile. It flags concerning patterns, like if they are up at 2 a.m. on their phone, or if there are signs of cyberbullying, but it does it without exposing the raw messages to you. It's a real game changer because it reduces the blowback from your teens and keeps that vital trust intact.
Now, if your primary concern is knowing exactly where your kids physically are, Qustodio is the standout. Not only does it give you prompt real-time location updates and a full timeline of everywhere they've been, but it features this highly practical panic button. Imagine your kid is in a sketchy situation, or maybe they just missed the bus. They can literally hit this button to instantly share their live location with you. It's a brilliant safety-first feature. Next up is Bark, and Bark takes a radically different approach to social media. Instead of dumping a giant message transcript in your lap, Bark uses machine learning to scan texts, emails, and over 30 different social platforms, including tricky ones like Discord and Snapchat. It essentially catches modern slang and code words tied to bullying, self-harm, or predatory contact. It only alerts you to the specific concerning interactions, so it gives you actionable context and you know exactly when you actually need to step in.
All right, Section 5, Common Monitoring Mistakes. Because honestly, even with the absolute best software installed on their phones, parents can still stumble.
Let's count down the top 3 mistakes we see. Step 1. Over-relying on technology. Let me be clear. Installing an app does not replace real-life check-ins. Step 2. Over-restricting older kids. If you put wholesale rigid blocks on a teenager's device, I promise you, you will face massive blowback. They need tailored limits that grow with their maturity. And step 3. Ignoring app permissions. You've got to read the fine print, folks, just to ensure the parental control app itself isn't aggressively sharing your child's data with third parties.
Section 6. Safety versus digital independence. Let's bring this all home and marry the software toolset back to the communication mindset, drawing on some fantastic advice from top psychological and childhood studies experts.
So, the crucial point is summarized perfectly by Dr. Valerie Bass from Rutgers University. She says, the media talks should be ongoing, not once. We have virtual stranger danger conversations at least twice a week. Think about that. You can't just download an app like Bark or Norton Family, set it up, and consider the job done. The software provides the safety net. Your ongoing organic conversations provide the actual education.
And then Dr. Miriam Liss reminds us of what might be the most vital lesson of all. Be a good role model for phone use. If you are on your phone all day, that is what children will learn to do. This loops us right back to the beginning, right? The tools can block bad websites, but they absolutely cannot force good habits if we aren't modeling them ourselves. We have to show our kids what a healthy relationship with the screen actually looks like.
Which leaves us with this final, incredibly vital question. How is your own screen time shaping your child's digital future? The right tool set can definitely protect them today, but the right mindset, modeled by you, is what will protect them for the rest of their lives. I really encourage you to go check out the AAP's Family Media Plan and explore which of these software tools might fit your family's vibe. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you on the next one.